Hello and welcome to 10 out of 10 Mood Watch Again with Lauren and us.
Hello.
This week we are doing what to most would probably be like, this movie's a shanner, why are they doing this? But I'll have you know that this movie was a pinnacle in my teenage years. We're doing House of Wax, the 2005 version, which was like you said earlier on, it's like a remake of a remake of a remake or something like that.
Yeah, it's a loose remake of a 1953 movie, which in turn is a remake of a 1933 movie
Stunning.
based on a book.
Stunning. Well, you're on. Hits with your shite.
Aye, so it was released in May 2005,
Ugh.
directed by Jaume Colette Serra.
Big Jaume.
Colette Serra. Starring Alicia Cuthbert, Jared Padalecki, Paris Hilton, and Chad Michael Murray.
Oh my god.
A budget of $40 million and a box office of $70 million.
Here. I'm feared to ask, do you like this movie? Why do you like this movie?
No, it's alright. Rewatching it was actually not that bad. I used to hate it when I was younger.
Oh,
but
really?
no, it's actually, it's alright. It's just daft.
See, I don't know, man. The early 2000s were just a wild time in movies, but like, I genuinely thought, like, I remember getting this as like one of my like, I don't really want to age myself, but it was one of my birthdays. I got this as like on DVD, and I was like, why have you bought me this? Like, I don't like horror movies, but I think this was when I was like starting to go through my goth phase. So my granddad was like, oh, I shall like this, right? And I remember me and my pals watched it, and then I think this was like the only horror movie I could like watch by myself. Like, I feel like, so like for years I thought this movie was like a good movie because I liked it. And then when you were saying last night that it was a pure bomb, I was like, oh really?
So it didn't do too well.
I just remember loving it. I do think though this is like do you know me when you're rewatching it? Now when you watch movies from when you're younger and you're like, we all know it's shite, but it's like nostalgic shite. I thought that was just my vibe on it as I am an adult, but like no, it's just pish, but like so good. Like
I don't know why you thought, like, I obviously been younger than that, but it's not great.
no,
It's not as bad as I thought, as I've said.
yeah,
But
true.
it's definitely not fucking. It's not a good movie.
It passed an hour and a half. It passed an hour.
2 hours. 2 hours long this movie is.
And not a minute is wasted.
A fucking lot of time's wasted in it.
General overview of the movie is just a group of hot people miss a football game and go to Madame Tussauds instead. Sounds about right.
I pretty much agree that one.
Do you want to dive into thoughts and opinions?
Aye, go for it.
So, I feel like this is like very much the dream early 2000s cast, and like specifically for a horror movie. Like, you've got Paris Hilton when she was at the height of her powers, like she was everywhere. Chad Michael Murray was basically every teenage girl's dream man. Like, still to this day, what a man. Like, Jared Padalecki, kind of coming off Gilmore Girls before Supernatural. Well, you said Supernatural came out the same year.
Yeah, but this came out before it.
Yeah. And like, I see as well, I feel like they kind of marketed this movie like with Paris Hilton as like the main forefront. See, for all like Alicia Cuthbert, obviously of 24 fame, and Chad Michael Murray are like the big main headlines of like actor wise. They really marketed this movie of Paris Hilton. Like, so many posters were like, come see Paris die, and like the picture of like the DVD cover is melted Paris Hilton's face. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I'll get into it a bit in useless information, but there was like loads of people who were like up for the role, or not really up. It wasn't as if people were like fighting to be in this movie, but I mean they asked loads of people, and it's just I feel like they hit Paris Hilton at that like prime early 2000s when like she had books everywhere, Simple Life was out, everybody of a certain age was like invested in her. Do you know what I mean? So it was like,
I'm with you, I
right,
get you.
cool, fuck it, we'll stick it in this, and all the wee tweeny boppers will come and see it. I also think this is a lot of like, to a lot of people, this is probably like baby's first horror movie, if you know what I mean. Like, this was probably the first horror movie that, I mean, for me personally, this was like the first horror movie that I could like watch on my own and like used it as a flex. Like, I remember in school was like, yeah, I sit and watch horror movies all the time by myself, but yeah, House of Wax all the time. And then I remember people would be like, oh, I'm too scared to watch that myself. Can I come up and watch that with you? I'd be like, anybody, I can pure handle it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, try to hide that in our shite bag.
There was a lot of like teen slasher
There was
ones at
loads
the
of them
time.
at the time.
There was that. Oh fuck, what was it? The Venom it was called. It was kind of like a backwater type thing.
I know the one you're talking about. Yeah. And then Wrong Turn was round about this time as well.
Aye, would have been
Big What's Her Chops, Big Faith for Buffy.
Aye.
Like, I think this movie, I don't really want to be like, oh, and the other ones too, because Wrong Turn is fucking grim, right?
Aye.
But like with this one, there's grim bits in it, but there's nothing like horrific. Do you know what I mean? Although I am forever traumatized by Jared Padalecki getting a set of scissors to the ankles. Like, that is actual horrific. Like, I actually think
a lot of them get their feet fucked up in this
one.
one.
Yeah, man, like Paris Hilton gets a wee chip to the heel and all that. But I think this was kind of, and absolutely correct me if I'm wrong, but I do think these kind of movies were like the precursor of like the things that happened to these really hot people were grim, but it was like before everything became like straight up torture porn. Do you know what I mean? Like before your Saws, your Hostels, your.
But after it, I think.
Okay, I couldn't tell you date time wise, but I know like there was a right streak of them. Do you know what I mean? It was like Saw, Hostel.
Saw was out the year before.
Oh really? Right.
Aye.
Okay.
But then that it hadn't really kicked off the whole
true
torture porn type thing.
Like that was like a big section in the mid 2000s that was just full on like, let's watch people get tortured.
Yeah.
Like in the grimmest way. Now the Saw movies will always have a dear place in my heart because they're shite but great, and like I don't care how bad a Saw movie is, I'm in purely for the last 20 minutes where they do like the tweezed and you hear like the din-in-in, din-in-in, like so good. Yeah. But like, sorry, back to Ice of Wax. I've done it again.
But this is kind of, it just follows the same pattern as every other horror movie. The kids make stupid decisions.
Yep.
And I'll get into it later on for one of my things, but I'll just take the news.
Yeah.
Is it one thing that bothered me about this movie is see as like they got into the town, there was like once they realised what was going on, there was no rush. There was no urgency to get out of there.
My God, I have so many bits like that in A, but fuck it, I'm bouncing on my feet.
I don't understand why. Like Chad Michael Murray's character's like, oh, we need to go get him. Then they just stone about talking. It's like there's no fear, there's no urgency.
See when she runs. See when like Alicia. Sorry, I keep calling her Eliza. Alicia Cuthbert and Jared Padalecki. After he gets caught and she goes for the runner, right?
Aye.
And she gets that, but halfway through the town, turns round and goes into a church. You were halfway out. Why did you stop running? Like, just go.
Like, none of them really panic.
No, they're all so chilled.
We're in a bad situation here. We better get our asses out of here. Not a thing.
They're just like, oh, instead of just running back down this wee road, let's just hide in a church. Let's hide in a movie theatre. Let's hide. No, fucking bolt. Do you know what I mean?
They were in a different movie.
honestly. I miss as well, before we get proper into it, I miss when horror movies had shite nu metal soundtracks. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like,
aye.
The soundtrack of this movie is so pish, but I probably have every single one of those songs on a playlist somewhere.
Of course you do, aye.
Like, give me all of the Deftones, all of your Disturbed, bit of Prodigy to gear you up for the inevitable. Do you know what I mean? And like, obviously, My Chemical Romance finishes it off. Like, it just, my wee 2K6 heart just grows for it, you know? Like,
yeah, so getting in there, they've got a lovely roll credits at the beginning.
We do.
Look, there's a house of wax.
Dun dun. That was Law and Order. That wasn't roll credits.
I know. I don't know. Fucking weird thing you're watching. But I know that's always love a wee roll credit.
Yeah,
that's what I was trying to get out in the Total Recall one. What's that hound called when they say the movie and the hound? They're all credits.
We'll get there. I see as well, right? So know how obviously Chad Michael Murray and Alicia Cuthbert are supposed to be twins in this movie, right? We'll get into that a bit later, right? But if you're in what age are they all supposed to be? Like 18 to 20?
I believe so.
She's about to go and do like an internship, whatever. So like old enough to fucking know better, right? And Chad Michael Murray, as stunning as he is, hits out the absolute ick line, like, you're the good twin and I'm the evil one. grow the fuck up, take a day off, get a grip of your life.
He's just a godless
Why
bastard in
you
this.
leave Chad Michael Murray alone?
No, he is.
No, you
They
don't
are.
understand, Ross. You don't understand. I loved him. I also love, and like, this is just any horror movie ever, but specifically the early 2000s done it right, where it's like the ominous introduction to the villain. Do you know what I mean? Like, seeing this, you go in and it's like the wax workshop, and he's got his weird fucked up wax face and like the mad hair, wig, awful. The wiggery, shocking, absolutely shocking. But like, there's always some creepy music. He's working away, setting up his wee murder tools. Like this bit, he's kind of obsessively like molding a nipple. I'm in. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, this is the bad guy. Let's go. Like,
One thing I will say though, see when they get to the town and they interrupt the funeral, then Bo comes out, 2 draws of a snout.
and then throws it away. Oh my god.
That's one thing that pisses me off in these movies.
Yeah, but just in anything ever, like, I'm going to absolutely go on a tangent here. Do you remember when Skins was out back in the day, right? And they were also, I will rant about this anytime anybody gives it a chance, right? They were all supposed to be wee fannies, and they would cut about with full packs of Marlboro, which were always the expensive snout. 2 draws and they'll chuck it away. I was like that. What the fuck is going on? Like, if we ever buy a packet of Marlboro, which is always a special occasion, those are treasured. Those are treasured.
Yeah, you're not throwing it away after 2 draws.
Absolutely not. You are savouring that thing. Sorry. My voice broke. I was just getting so passionate about it. Tobacco is expensive, people. Saving it.
Can't be fucking throwing it away after 2 draws.
Do you know what I mean? Absolute
chance.
wronging.
And a bit of toxic masculinity for the Padalecki, I know.
How?
At the funeral bit. And
Oh yeah, when he's like, "Oh, your fan club's getting bigger."
Aye.
Sit the fuck down, Jared Padalecki.
That and the fact that he's a right nosy bastard in
He
this.
is a right auntie.
Always got his horns and everything.
Yeah, like as soon as they go into the house of wax, he's just like melting the carrots and all that. And
Aye.
she then like rolls his eyes when she's like, "Gonna no do that." Like, you're in a museum. Like, do you know what I mean? This whole place is somebody's work of art, and you're gonna sit with your wee lighter like, get up, you.
But it's not even that. It's when they end up in the guy's house and he's just rifling through all his shit.
The fuck are you doing?
What are you doing? Just sit in the living room like ass.
Do you know what I mean? Like, just go in the toilet and come back. Why
Aye.
are you being a right nosy bastard?
Especially when you see that medical room and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to have a look at these." He said, "What are you doing?"
Yes, right. So I'm going to bounce right off the back of that, right? Now, at what point, when you've figured out that the whole town is wax, well, they've not figured that bit out yet, but like, you're in this guy's house, there's medical weapons, this guy's supposed to be a mechanic, there's beds with straps on it, like, everything's a riot. Why are you sitting there being like, I wonder what's in this drawer? I would fully take a look about and be like, nope, I don't need this fan belt. I'm away.
Yeah, you'd be
Do you
getting
know
it.
what I
Aye.
mean? Like, you would, like, I'm short and fat and can't run that fast, but I would wily coyote it out of that gaff. Absolutely
Oh,
not.
aye.
See, as well, with Jared Padalecki being the first victim, right? Well fucking deserved, you nosy tramp, right? But I always thought that his face just, I don't know if it's the makeup they put on them in this movie, because everything does just seem a bit blurred, but like,
It's
he,
just the quality of the
yeah,
back in the day, wasn't
but
it?
he just looks really plastic. Like, even his like before he gets turned into wax. See, when he gets turned into wax and before, I don't see any difference. Like, he's just got a right plasticky looking face, and it's like his beard looks like it's been like super glued on. Like, do you know what I mean? And I thought that for years. And like, even now when you see him, like, he's aged a bit. But there's something fucking weird going on with Jared Padalecki. There's something very bizarre going on with that plastic man's
I think
face.
he's got a good life.
I don't know. Now, I know we said earlier on there's that Chad Michael Murray and Alicia Cuthbert are supposed to be twins, right? I don't know if this is an A or a thought and opinion, but I'm going to chuck it in here, right? I also don't know if it's just Chad Michael Murray's like general sexy bastard vibe, right? But does he have a weird sexual chemistry with his twin sister?
Oh, it's creepy.
It's really
That
weird,
it's
eh?
creepy.
Like, I didn't know if it was, but then I don't know if that's just Chad Michael Murray's like eyes. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if he's just giving sex eyes to everyone that's like cutting about. But like, she's your sister. You are in character. You are her brother. Rein it the fuck in. Do you know what I mean?
No, he
No,
made it weird.
I know.
He made it far too weird for my liking.
See all the like. See, this is so embarrassing. This is actually embarrassing to admit, but fuck it, I've started, right? We were all wee fannies when we were like 13, 14, right? And like, see, obviously there's a lot of like twin, like, symbolism. And I say that as if it's not heavily fucking in the whole thing, right? And like, there's all this stuff about twins, there's all this stuff about like the deformities, blah, 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 blah. See, when I was younger and this movie came out, I thought I was so fucking smart for like clocking it all. Do you know what I mean? Like, see, when obviously the two bad guys are like the separated twins and then they die the way they were born, I was like, that's so fucking smart. Do you know what I mean? Like, such an arsehole as a kid. Being like, oh yeah, they're twins and then that's twins and then na 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 na. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. I was the film bro that we hate.
I know, and it's hardly a. Oh my god!
It hits you over the head.
I've
with
just
it.
found a hidden meaning
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah. Like, it's so fucking
I know
obvious.
what he was doing.
Aye, it's not like you're watching like a Kubrick movie and you're like, oh, there's a can in the background. That means something.
Nobody else has noticed this.
Yeah.
You know, it shows you the bit where he goes up, she runs up the stairs, and like he cuts through the wax with a knife,
Yep.
and it shows him separating.
Yep.
You're like, I've got this.
I
understand this.
I was like, boys, I understand cinema. I know what I'm talking about. Do you know what I mean?
That and this is in my A's, but I need to rant about it.
We're
anyway.
going to have so many A's.
Well, I've got a couple here, but it's more about the hillbilly, the one that drops him off. But,
oh right, okay.
Like, I'll keep the other one for after. But it's like, why add him in it? There's no need.
No.
See, like that. Oh, the big reveal. Oh, there was a third.
I remember being so shook the first time I watched this movie of like, oh my god, there's another brother. But then it's like, watching this back now is like a seasoned horror veteran that's like seen all the twists.
It's so obvious.
It's so obvious. Like, they're not just going to add in this random creepy hillbilly for like no fucking reason. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's not. You can tell this. I'm not saying this movie was done on a budget, because obviously it was like
fucking 40 million. It's
no,
a lot of money.
But you know what I mean is like, there's not really any spare characters, if you know what I mean. Like, everyone is in this movie for a reason.
There's not a lot of people in it.
I'm pure talking about this movie as if it's fucking high art, but you know what I mean.
There's not a lot of people in this movie.
And the people, it's not like you've got mad extras. It's not like, oh, there's this weird hillbilly and we'll never see him again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then obviously, spoiler alert, if anybody's listening to this that has never seen the ending, basically the hillbilly that leads them in at the start to be like, oh, there's a garage up there, turns out to be the third brother of the other two who are doing the waxing and killing and all that good stuff.
There's no need for it to happen.
No, not at all. Like, there could have been, like, they could have just, like, found their way there, like, in whatever way. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there was no need for all the, like, roadkill shit. There's no need for, like, like, I'm trying to think of, like, a plot thing of how they could have found
They knew there was a
themselves.
house of wax.
Oh,
Why not just,
because they passed all the things.
Yeah, we've seen the sign there. It's just, like, just here. It made more sense than, like, because that guy's just sitting waving at them at the end. And he's he's burnt down his town and killed his two brothers. Yeah. And he's just sitting there waving. It makes no sense.
Because then it's like, what is that? Because it's not really like it sets up for a sequel, knowing that one of them's left. Like, it's not like there's a sequel, because obviously the town of Wax is burnt by the end. It's all melted.
I think they had plans for it, but because of the poor reception it took, they weren't going to make it.
I fucking loved it.
They had no intention of making it after the poor returns it got.
People are shitebags, man. People couldn't handle the movie. But, like, what do you do? Like, so if you were going to do a sequel, right, you've only got him left and the House of Wax town is melted. Where are you going with that?
There was a prequel they were going to do
about
the mum and that, I think.
Fuck all the way
But
off.
obviously, if no cunt's interested in...
Yeah, true. I mean, we basically...
this one, why would they be interested in a prequel?
We basically got the fucking life story, do you know what I mean, of, like, her trying to make the thing while Bo's going off his nut and Vincent's just eating the Cheerios.
It kind of shows you in the town, like, their life, aye.
There's no need for a prequel, we get it.
A bit of child abuse at the beginning, that's all you need.
Solid child abuse. Like, they don't do that as much anymore, right? Honestly, the early 2000s were a fucking wild time. But like, they don't really start off movies with like solid slapping your wains about and strapping wains to a high chair.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like, child abuse is not really the opener that most movies want to go with.
Yeah, I can get why they're doing like this movie tries to pull off like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah,
Like, oh, here's the monster, and it's the family trying to protect him and that.
yeah.
It's like kind of swampy backwater.
Mm-hmm.
Like the stranger takes him to the place and that, and it's like we've already got that movie. We
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
Your only difference is you've made it
You've got
for a
wax.
wax museum.
Yeah,
A guy
you're
that
on the
makes wax
cannibals,
dolls.
aye.
Like, if that guy was that good at doing that, he could have had a good career doing that. He doesn't need to make a town
He could have actually got a job at
That-
Madame Tussauds.
that
like-
nobody knows about.
Yeah, I because that's the thing. They're like, oh, if you hadn't, right, this should have been an A. It's just came to me there now that you've said that, right? So the whole time they're driving down, they pass like all these signs to Trudy's House of Wax, and so it's not as if it's not advertised, you know, like it's not as if it's like, don't come and see this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it's
people would know of it because it's advertised where it is.
right. So like, see at the end when the sheriff's like, oh, nobody knew this place was here, like that back.
None of them read.
Yeah, like oh, that back lane was thingy, so we couldn't get in. You're trying to tell me that there's only one way in. Get
Yeah,
fucked,
surely they would have known straight away with the diversion anyway.
right? Because then,
Where does this
Right?
lead? Like they need
Yeah.
to go through it. It makes no sense.
and then like him at the end was like, oh, your sheriff. He was like, oh, if it wasn't for the smoke, we wouldn't have known this place existed. But there's signs to the House of Wax the whole fucking road up.
Yeah.
What the
Like,
fuck?
the one diversion you had to go.
Yeah.
Surely when, I mean, obviously we're probably looking far too much into this,
Oh,
but
aye, we're
if you're
nitpicking.
setting the diversion,
Uh-huh.
you need to be like, right, where the fuck does this lead?
Yeah. Where are you actually
Aye,
going?
like,
yeah,
where,
yeah,
where
yeah.
are we going?
Yeah. Do you want? Have you got any more thoughts and opinions, or will we just dive straight into A's because we're
It's-
on a roll here?
It's the one thing that's it annoyed me watching it
Right.
about Paris Hilton.
Oh
No, it's not
don't.
about her. It's
Right.
more about the treatment.
There's
Like, see, obviously, I mean, a lot of people might not know now, but Sex Tape came out the year before this.
Oh, was that the year before?
Yes.
Oh.
And- Obviously, at the time, it was different times.
Yeah,
I
of
mean,
course.
we
Yeah,
were
yeah.
too young for it.
I think we had this discussion when like Pam and Tommy came out, that Disney Plus TV show, right? And I feel really guilty for watching that now
Yeah.
after watching the Pam documentary. But we were saying that like I remember being younger and Paris Hilton was like all over the magazines of like, oh, look at the fucking state of her, look at the neck, like she's falling out all these. But like I feel like everyone, or not everyone, a good few of us at my age had a right, like like we all loved Paris Hilton. Do you know what I mean? Like she brought out these mad books, and it was like write your life story with Paris Hilton, and we all had them. Do you know what I mean? And it was like I don't know what it was about Paris Hilton that we were all like, what a gal, what a gal. But it's like looking back now, it's like, oh, you were done so dirty, man. Because
Oh, treated like absolute shit.
we watched that Paris documentary because I made you watch it, and it is mad watching it back now with a 2024 lens of like,
It's not even about. See, just in the context of this movie,
yeah,
obviously the sex tape, her fame was the internet and that exploded.
yeah,
like,
yeah,
then to make this movie, then to have like she's giving him head,
yeah.
and you're like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
like it's heavily they're using the sex tape as a way to, oh, remember Paris' sex tape. But this director's went on to do Disney shit and all that, and I was
Yeah.
like, he's took advantage. Producer not took advantage. He shouldn't be allowed. Like,
Well,
you
she's
can't do that. And like,
No, I'm with you.
It's shite.
She's
It's really
like
shite over.
the
Like on her,
only-
sorry.
No, totally. She gets like a full 5 minute like strip dance. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we are watching her like strip off. Like, obviously,
Mhm.
the year. Now, obviously, this was filmed before the sex tape happened, right? But like, even if the sex tape hadn't came out,
No,
like,
the sex tape has been released.
no, I know, but I mean, they'd have filmed this movie.
Oh, Lord, this would have been filmed in about 2 weeks.
All right.
Look at the state.
Right, okay.
Look at the state of the
Right,
thing.
okay. I'm trying to give it some credit here, right?
No, they knew exactly what they were doing.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just
No,
doesn't
it's
sit well with me.
icky, isn't
Yeah.
it? It feels icky. Well, that's the thing, though, is like they knew what they fucking had with her because there was a bit that I was looking up when I was looking up like useless information for this movie. Like, obviously, when the sex tape came out, that was kind of when like when the peak of like fuck Paris Hilton also started coming, because that was when like, oh, you had all your pedal clutching outraged moz being like, oh, how could she do that? She's a terrible influence to our kids, blah 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 blah. So all that was going on, as well as other people were like, oh, leave Paris alone. So like them really advertising this movie as like, come see Paris die. It's like, that's also fucked up. Do
Oh,
you know what I
aye,
mean? Like,
aye.
not only have you over like you've cashed in on how over sexualized she was, sex tape or not, she was always incredibly over sexualized. Do you know what I mean? Like, she was always cutting about in like red bras and teeny toty denim belts and all this kind of stuff. Like, Paris was a good and terrible thing for all of our self esteems in the early 2000s.
I mean,
But like, do you know what I mean? It's like they cashed in on how over sexualized she was. Then when they were promoting it, cashed in on the, oh yeah, we don't like her now. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
cool, come see it. Yeah, yeah.
like they done her dirty.
100%.
And what annoys me is like this guy's been able to go on and he done Jungle Cruise. Like I know
Did he
it's
do Jungle Cruise?
Black
No,
Adam, but
yeah.
he,
Did he do Black Adam?
you're taking advantage.
Ugh.
Like in my point, if you're going to act that, your views don't change.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah. I totally agree.
I know maybe not him, but the producer said do this, but that's just sleazy.
Yeah. I think though as well as we didn't think like this in the early 2000s. Do you know what I mean? Like, we were all
We'd have been.
we were
obviously-
kids, so
yeah,
obviously
wouldn't
we
have
weren't.
known,
Yeah, we weren't
but-
thinking about this. Like, but
it's not good.
no, I know. I think that's the thing though. Is like, obviously I don't. I say nobody thought like that. There's cunts in every era. Do you know what I mean? But I think like it was more tolerated back in the early 2000s. Do you know what I mean? Like,
of course.
it was all very much well. It was more tolerated. And it was so in the mainstream media all the time that like you were just like, yeah, no worries. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
misogyny was just like with breakfast, you know? Like,
But I wonder how she felt.
phone it up and ask.
Aye.
Phone it up and right?
Like,
Listen,
it's
Paris
just-
though.
They're taking advantage of your sex tape, what was illegally released,
Yep.
and she won the court case and that for
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Yeah, do you want to do this in the movie? And they're like, fuck no,
I know.
that's not on.
I
Like,
know.
it shouldn't be on.
Listen, she's flourishing now. Do you know what I mean? She's got her billions and she's got her Wayne and her man, and she's living a good life. I will always have time for Paris, right?
I can understand why people don't like her because at the time she was kind of famous.
Socialite, wasn't
I
it?
was famous for being rich.
But
like,
that's
her mum and dad being rich.
you could be famous for just being a party girl back in the day, though. Do you know what I mean?
You
That was,
still can.
but yeah, I suppose all your
These
Geordie
mad
Shore,
weirdos on
Jersey
TikTok
Shore,
and that as
all
well.
that. Yeah, true. But like, she was like, obviously she was like the heiress, but she was like the rebel. God, we've went on a tangent about Paris Hilton
Oh,
here.
it's, 'cause
but
it's
like,
unfair what happened to her.
no, totally. But like, I think that was the thing though, is like at the time you were cool being famous. One, for just being the daughter of rich people, but then also she was just like, she would just show up to your parties, and also, and I don't know if this is a good or bad thing personally, fuck her. But if there was no Paris Hilton, we would have no Kim Kardashian. And
They followed the same fucking game plan.
I know. But
Yeah,
like,
that-
actually think about that, right? Kim Kardashian was Paris Hilton's assistant, and then obviously Kim Kardashian now just runs the world, right? Like, obviously, like her, love or hate the Kardashians, they're fucking everywhere. Like,
Right, so do I just get a favourite scene?
okay, you can go first.
I don't have one.
Okay.
This movie's just boring. Like,
it's not
it's
boring.
boring. There's nothing. Like, it just feels like you get to the camping bit
Yep.
and they all look bored. There's no urgency to do anything. There's nothing.
Don't. So, my head says the ending where the museum melts, because that looks cool as fuck, apart from the shoddy CGI, but we'll get to that. But my heart, my little teenage heart will always go for Chad Michael Murray and that slutty little vest top. Like, just every time. Ross, you don't understand how much we loved him as teenagers. Like, he was the man. He was the one.
No, fair enough.
So, like, if you want something that looks cool, the ending. If you just want an absolute fox, Chad Michael Murray and that be vest top.
Harmless bastard in a vest top.
Shut the fuck up. Do you want to just dive into these, or do you want me to bounce through useless information?
No, go
first?
for useless information.
Are you sure? Right, okay. So, I don't have a lot of useless information because, see, to be honest, I couldn't really find much that wasn't just like, this was nominated for 4 Razzies and blah, blah, blah. Like, this movie, like, honestly, last night was like a revelation to me of how much people fucking hated this movie. So, the director insisted on using as many practical effects as possible and only use CGI when necessary. And you can tell, because see that end bit when the house is melting and it's like it kind of bends, but they're staying still, but the rest of the house is bending. It looks terrible. But that is one thing about this movie. I meant to say in thoughts and opinions, and then we got distracted by Paris. Like, it does look good. Like, say what you want about the movie, shite plot, nothing. I think it looks good because everything's like real. Do you know what I mean?
I get you.
Anyway, so Brian Van Holt played both Vincent and Beau, and there was lots of bits on the internet about the extensive hair and makeup that had to be done to complete the transformation. And I was like, he just had to put a wig on and a bit of a.
Who played them? Did you find out who played the guy when both of them were in the scenes together?
I was just a wee stunt guy, not a stunt guy, but you know what I mean. Like,
yeah,
just
fair enough.
You could have put that wig on anyone, Ross. Nobody's noticing.
He was a big dude.
He was a big guy.
Like, that wasn't just I'd say just a wee key grip. Like,
yeah.
That fucking wig on. No, again, I'm not doing that again.
So, Jennifer Connelly and Kate Winslet were both originally asked to play Paige, the Paris Hilton role. Both turned it down.
Of course.
I know. I think Jennifer Connelly went on to make, is it Dark Waters? That horror movie that she's in?
Fuck
Pish. Terrible. I always think Kiefer Sutherland's in that movie, but he was in one.
Mirrors,
thank you.
That's another shite one.
Are we just going to be like, oh, early 2000s horror movies are shit, but so good?
I mean,
like,
a lot of the teen ones are shite.
Yeah. Both of them obviously turned it down, and Paris Hilton's agent fought for her to get the role.
It would have made sense. Like, they would have got as you said, the promotion and that of being sleazy bastards.
Yeah.
Kind of paid off for them.
Well, so this was his directorial debut. He then went on to make The Orphan in 2009 and The Shallows in 2016. Now, I've not seen The Orphan for years. Like, I remember when that came out.
We watched the sequel. That wasn't great.
Was pretty shoddy.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Like, I've not seen the first one for years because, again, that was another one, like, I watched to death and I thought I was hard because I could watch The Orphan by myself.
It's just
it's
scary.
Just shite. Yeah. But, like, I wonder if, obviously, we're saying, like, the director's a big sleazeball for cashing in on Paris Hilton. I wonder if we'll go back to The Orphan and think that's sleazy with a 2024 lens because, obviously, she's, like, a woman kid on to be a Wayne, but it's actually a Wayne.
They're not using her as like any. It's not like a jailbait type thing. Do you know what I mean?
It's like this is a 30-year-old woman.
The gimmick of it is she looks like that. Like this isn't a. Like,
she was a fucking terrifying looking kid, man.
They don't sexualise her in the way they did with Paris Hilton.
Because they can't, but there's still that bit at the end where she puts on the like black velvet dress and the chokers.
Once you think that she's
once you know she's 30.
Like they don't.
And he is horrified when she goes in for the nip.
It's a different type of gimmick. It's like you can't really think, watch this wee lassie kiss him. Come on.
I like by that time we've got the context right. Okay, I take it back. I'm getting this director done for fucking all sorts. God, this has kind of went on to a tangent of us on like a side quest to hunt down the arseholes.
He is an arsehole.
It took 10 weeks to build the town of Ambrose for the movie. And although it was supposed to look like it was in Louisiana, it was actually shot in Australia.
Yeah.
And it took, for the 10 weeks that it took to build, it took 3 days for them to wreck it. Those guys had, obviously they had, I'm going to just say petrol, but whatever the more technical term for the things that the stunt people use to set people on fire. Like, petrol. So, one of the prop guys had left. They were supposed to be starting a controlled fire that would only destroy part of the set for the movie, right? And one of the prop guys fucked up majorly and left too much out in the wrong bits, and it set half the set ablaze.
You'd be gutted.
So then, but then Australia went after Nut, basically. Like, they sent the Australian police up because they were like, you could have fucking caused wildfires, you could have done this, you could have done that. Like, they had to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars in fines
I wouldn't surprise me,
because it was seen as like endangering like wildlife and
Yeah.
shit because they just built it in the back fucking nowhere in Australia. Also, final bit of useless information before we dive into all the A's, just every single one of them. I thought you might like this one. Jared Padalecki and Paris Hilton went on to star in an episode of Supernatural, which was also about a wax museum, and they even made several references to this film.
I can't remember that episode.
Well, you watched all of bloody Supernatural when it was out.
Fucking dingy toffee as well.
I made that a couple of years ago. You were like, right, I'm going to start reading Supernatural again. I'm going to see if it is actually shite. And I think you got to like season 5 or something.
The last season, I was like, I can't do
Yeah,
this
like,
is so bad.
You were on the last season. You were like,
nah,
no, it's not happening.
I can't.
I've done that with so many stuff.
I know it was torture. Alright, go for it. This is just more about their stupid choices.
Okay.
Right, so got to hear when they talk about the third brother, the hillbilly, if you will, getting a lift off him as he's knee deep in carcasses, then proceed to piss him off, then throw
as he whips out, wait, piss him off as he whips out a Bowie knife and fucking stabs it into the middle of the motor. My man.
Then when they're at the camp, it's the brother. The lights that you. Why throw a bottle at his car?
Because he's just hard as fuck.
I just don't understand. It's in a lot of these horror movies now, but it's more. It's good to see in some new ones they make smarter choices.
Yes. I like they don't just automatically run up to the fucking attic.
Yeah,
do you know what I
like
mean?
the actual. There's ones now that they can fight back.
Yeah.
See, like in that You're Next. In
that.
Oh,
so
like,
good.
Fucking survival expert.
I love that film.
I know it makes a refreshing change than just. Oh, I'm just going to run and scream. Is it?
Yeah.
No, I'm going to fight fucking back very quickly.
Yeah. Now it's very, I mean, I know there's always been the final girl, but like now it's very much about the final girl can fucking boot your arse. Do you know what I mean? Like the final girl is coming for you.
Yeah, it's realistic.
Do you know what I mean?
Like, she could do you in.
Yeah. See as well what you're saying about like, and I don't know if this is just us or I know it's an everybody thing, but like, I just know that if you and me were cutting about and we saw a pile of roadkill and a weird fucking hillbilly guy being like, I'll give you a lift. No, I'll just walk, my man. Absolutely not. Like, and then they're in his motor, they're being so rude to him, right? Now, fair play, you have got in this weirdo's car. That is on you. But, like, he's giving you a lift. At least try and be nice. Do you know what I mean?
You might have a chance to get away.
Do you know what I mean? Just be like, and they're like, we're getting out now. But then as well, Stephen, like, he's already put the knife in the dashboard, and then he goes to like pull it out. I'd have been like, I accept my fate. I will say, or I will say all the prayers I need to say.
You just want to get in the motor.
Absolutely not. And then, like you're saying, there's so many. Now I know we could nitpick every early 2000s horror movie for this, fucking horror movies in general. But like, there are so many times where they could both get away, like before the rest of the pals come in. Before
you don't even need to get away. You shouldn't have been there in the first place.
No, fucking idiots. Like, see that as well, where after she's fallen in the roadkill, before he even gets the lift off the guy, your man, Paris Hilton's boyfriend, who we will fucking get into in about 10 minutes, right? Her boyfriend's like, let's go guys, I want to go to the football, blah, blah, blah. Jared Padalecki's like, I'm not here for the game, I'm here for her, like, I don't really give a fuck. He was quite happy to just sit with his motor, and like, she could have stayed with him, she didn't really seem that fucked either. Or like, whatever, right? And he literally says to them, go to get me a fan belt when you're on your way back. Like, I'll go here and try and get one, but if yous can try and get one and all, then we know we're definitely going to get one. And they don't even bother their arse. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they come back and it's like, oh, where the fuck are they? Like,
I think at that stage,
people are dickheads, Ross.
Even a brother being a dick and throwing the bottle, that would have sealed their fate anyway.
Shut the fuck up, yeah, 100%. Like, you leave Chad Michaelbury alone. I will die on the hill for that man.
They're just fucking stupid. So fucking stupid.
I think that is the thing though, is like, and obviously like movies like Cabin in the Woods then go on to take the piss out of the stereotypes so badly. But this movie really is like perfectly stereotyped. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got the really hypersexual, hyper-aggressive, toxic male. To be fair, all of the men in this movie are really toxic masculinity.
Very fucking weird.
You've got Paris Hilton, who's just super over-sexualized. You've got Alicia Cuthbert, who's like a bit more demure, and she's like, "Oh no, please, only me alone." Chad Michael Murray's supposed to be your bad boy. Just you can do whatever you want. Like Dalton, the pal who was your man for Scary Movie,
Yeah.
he's supposed to be the comic relief. Never laughed one
Not very
time at
funny,
him.
no.
Never
Not
laughed
funny.
one time. And then obviously you've got Jared Padalecki as your like, oh, I'm just a little backwater boyfriend. Leave me alone. Do you know what I mean?
Little
And then
small town boy.
yeah. And it's like, if you've ever seen a horror movie ever, you just walk into this knowing that you're dead. But it's like now, like like we were saying earlier on, like now everyone can kind of kick their arses. Movies like Cabin in the Woods that really took those stereotypes and went, is that right? Let's go. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, other movies have done it, but Cabin in the Woods is the first one to come off my head because I remember when we first watched that and we were like, what the fuck is happening? Like, it was so good.
I would say You're Next for me.
You're Next.
That,
and
what was the
good.
other one? With they need to kill her by, like, the day comes up and they all explode.
Oh,
One.
yeah. No, that's she's engaged to your man who's like the grandson of the guy that invented Monopoly, and they all have like the That's basically your Game Over. Is that what it's called?
I think so. Maybe,
Samara
sure.
Weaving's in it, and she gets married. Aye. But she actual boots fuck out the lot of them. Yeah. Aye, perfect. Aye, movies. I keep making them.
Good
They're
movies.
great.
Aye, they're good.
See as well, just to bring it back. So they're all going to this football game, right? This very vague football game. And they're all like, this is a big game. Like, Blake or Blaine or whatever the fuck his name is. He's been excited for this for weeks. Like, we cannot miss this. You don't have tickets. Like, I understand. I don't know. When I was going to, I mean, I've never been to football games, but when I was going to gigs, it was like, never go to a scalper because they're going to overcharge you. Like, fuck. Do you know what I mean? But, like, how big, how monumental is this game? Like, is this football game, like, Kansas City Chiefs level, or is it like college football? But then I know in America they think college football is great too. But I mean, I know nothing about American football, but I just feel like if this was so important for you to go to, why are you not booked and ready to go? Like, see if that was me in charge of all my pals getting tickets to that football game, we would have had the tickets booked weeks ago. We would have had the hotel booked weeks ago.
That's the thing, you don't really find out, obviously, but it could have just been a last minute thing. So when it get the game, get a scalper.
But it's clearly not though, because Paris Hilton's like, oh, he's been fucking buzzing for this for weeks. Like, they are hyped and ready to go.
See, Blake, I don't give a fuck how hyped he is. He's a fucking dick.
Yeah, he is a dick.
A stupid dick in this movie.
He is a dick.
But no, if it's just one of the things is right, why they travelling?
Yeah.
Right, that'll do.
Aye, it's always like some
like
vague
logic goes out the window when there's shit like that.
Yeah, like wrong turns like that as well, isn't it? Like, oh, we're going, like, what's the wrong turn? They're like going on holiday, or they're just going to drive and they bump into the other guy or something.
Aye. That and what is it? The fucking House of Eyes. Is it? Oh, they're in the only like 5% of the world without cell service.
Yeah, you idiots. Like,
we're just going to camp here, but it's just how these movies set up.
Aye, obviously. I give us like a paper thin reason to be there. Yeah. I hate the House of Eyes, man. See as well in like horror movies, especially early 2000s one, is like breaking and entering's just alright. Like Jared Padalecki breaks into everything he goes in. Like when they just straight up walk into the church. Like, so number one, he breaks into the mechanics trying to find his fan belt. Then they break into the church trying to find the guy. Then they break into the House of Wax where he starts melting all the shit just to be a dickhead. Then they get caught there. Then they go back to the mechanics and he's like, oh, I'm just going to take it and leave money. And then the guy's like, oh, I've got you the size of fan belt you need back at the gaff. He then breaks into the fucking medical cupboard, starts going through the drawers and all that.
That's what I'm saying.
Nosy bastard deserves what he gets. But like, I don't know. I just would never. Do you know what I mean? Like, no
normal person would.
Like, you're not just like, oh, your motor's broke down. I'm a really weird, creepy mechanic guy. You can come back to mine and, like, I've got the fan belt. I would just sit in that motor and wait for him to bring it out. I'd be like, nope, I'm going nowhere.
Like, what are the chances that's the only one he's not got? Because there was hundreds of the other ones, and it's just the 15 inches no got.
Aye, nae bother.
Nah, that's
actual
convenient.
Nae bother.
or way to
This,
like progress your plot.
yeah.
Fucking assholes.
It's like as well. See when Jared Padalecki's in that, when he's in the medical room, right? You actually look about that room. There is now the house is creepy. The house is all dark, looking absolutely fucked. There's weird melted wax faces on top of piles of
Aye.
books. Like there's mad dead cow fetuses in jars and all this kind of stuff. Everything's just looking super gnarly, and you want to explore that. Like shitebag me all you
Fucking
want.
nosy bastard.
Honestly, I'd be like, that's great, I'm away. Do you know what I mean? Like,
that
it's
a bastard and child.
it's an absolute no from me.
A fucking child. That's all he is.
See, as well, this is not on the same thingy of slagging them for their horror movie choices, right? How do you keep now the whole town's wax, everyone in it, all the buildings, the floors, the stairs, everything is wax. How do you stop that melting in the hot Louisiana sun? Like, surely everything should be a wee bit drippy by the time they get there. Because the weather looks cracking.
I know how to keep candles in that, I suppose.
Yeah, but I've not got a candle out in like the blaring hot Louisiana sun.
I don't know.
Like our candles are firmly in this freezing.
No, but I'm talking about like I don't know. Maybe it's just there's like a resin or something they use. Like well, I said it yesterday. Like, Madame Tussauds in it. How do they keep them?
Yeah, but they're in like Madame. You ever been to Madame Tussauds?
Yeah, but Lauren,
it's fucking freezing in there.
You see the bright lights that are shining directly on them though.
Phone up Madame Tussauds. We'll find
there
out.
Must be like I assume there's something. I mean, I'm not saying that this fucking weirdo used it in
no,
this, but
that's what I'm saying.
There's got to be something to keep it hard.
But that's what I'm saying though. Is like the building, like everything's made out of wax. Why is nothing pure drippy? Because Louisiana's hot as fuck. Do you know
I have no idea. That's one of the put logic out the window. I suppose.
Yeah. That's the thing is we are nitpicking for shit over a really
I just
bad
don't
2005 horror movie.
How much effort to build that house out of wax? Like
but like
building out of
multiple
wax.
stories.
Yeah, like that isn't just one or like two cunts doing that.
No,
you need a full squad for that.
Yes, and like see as well when like at the end when the house is melting and you can see that like nothing's really supported. Do you know what I mean? Like all it took was just like a blaze and everything was fucked, right? And yet in his workshop there's just candles everywhere.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? Like, cause
suppose the max I was going to say the max would wilt it. The wax would just melt into the. Maybe that's just all candle of melting. Is it?
That's how he's got stairs. Yeah. Because I don't know. In real life, you'd think there'd be some kind of like construct holding it up. Do you know what I mean? Like the stairs and all that.
Imagine it would need to be.
So I know, obviously, this is another theme in horror movies, right? That when the villain is down, they just go over and have a look, and they're like, "He's cool, we can go," right? So they get him, right? Like Chad Michael Murray shot Bo in the heart and the arm, and all these mad arteries with that crossbow, right?
Yeah.
They're literally standing over him. They empty his gun. She throws his gun 2 steps away from where he is, and like they give him a kick, and that's about it. Like I will never understand. Like kick him, shoot him again. Like make sure he's fucking down. Do you know what I mean? And then they go back into the middle, and she's like, "Oh, Wade and Dalton, they're dead. Just accept that your pals are dead. Why are you going back?"
That's what I mean. There's no urgency in this.
No, they're just like, "Oh well, what are we gonna do?" Like, fuck off. Your pals are dead. Run.
It'd be so easy to get out of there. They choose not to.
I know. Yeah. Fuck this movie, man. This podcast made me realise I hate this film.
Yeah, it's not a good movie.
Do we have a best kill, worst kill?
Well, one of mine's I'm not sure if it's a good kill.
Okay.
But the first one I've got is her killing Bo, just fucking bashing his brains in with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
But I put the worst kill as Blake's death, partly because I don't remember it.
Right, okay.
I don't actually know how he dies.
Vincent puts a knife through his throat, and then when he's chasing Paris Hilton, he like steps on the knife, and just all this blood comes out his mouth.
So just things his throat then?
Yeah, basically. It's not very good.
So I've got the best one is hers. Her killing Bo.
Okay.
Then Blake, just because Blake's a fucking dickhead.
Yeah, Blake was a dickhead, man.
What have you got?
So for best kill, I know we've just sat and talked about Paris
That's
Hilton.
terrible.
It's got to be Paris, man.
That's
It's got to be
terrible.
like not out of anything of like her death gets the most screen time out of anybody who dies in this movie.
Yeah, there was always
Obviously for obvious reasons, but like she's just running about, just spear right through the head. Do you know what I mean? Like even like everyone else who dies in this, it's literally 5 minutes and we're on. Although I did have, if you were going to shout at me for Paris Hilton's death, but I stand by my choice. I was going to say Dalton because he just gets like through and beheaded. Do you know what I mean? But no, fuck you. I'm gonna stand with it.
Go for
Paris
it.
Hilton.
I mean, it was heavily designed for her to have the best one.
Yeah, man.
So I suppose that if it wasn't the best, then fuck it. But I'll have the villain's death.
You have him.
His brain bashed.
God, learn to speak.
I know.
Like, my worst kill, and again, I don't know if this counts because technically he's still alive, right? But see when Jared Padalecki has been made into wax and he's just sitting at the piano, and then Dalton starts peeling off bits of his cheek. Fuck that.
Yeah, at what point would you be like, I'm going to stop doing this?
Yeah, like, that's the thing is I don't know if it's worst kill in the way it normally is, where we're like, this is shit. Yeah. But like, like, it's just, like, just,
I get you,
brother, like,
weird.
stop it. So I think we both know who the worst guy whose hairline's receding is.
Oh, aye.
Big Blake.
Right,
aye. You go first and then I'll go after you.
I mean, I've not got a lot. I've just wrote Sexed Up Moron.
Yeah.
Like, there's
He's horrific.
I get he's the one to push the Paris Hilton stuff, but my guy, like...
Yeah, let's rein it in, do you know what I mean? Like, he's such a bellend. All he does is just shout at everybody, like, we gotta go to the game. He's always like, are you guys gonna have sex? Well, because I am. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, he gives the energy of, like, that guy in school that was like, I'm no a virgin, but she was doing my granny's bit. Like, I've had sex, ridiculous. So I know what it's like. Like, shut up, you dickhead.
Just fucking weird, man.
Yeah, that's all he does this whole movie. He talks about football in his hole, and that's it.
It was just the reason.
He's such an arsehole.
He was just the character, so Paris Hilton can be a sex object.
Do you know as well, right? And this should have been in my A, right? See at the start. No, fuck it, we're adding this into fuck you, Blake, Patter, right? That's what this section will now be called. It's no longer called Worst Guys Highlights. It's just fuck you, Blake. So, her at the start is like, oh, I'm late, I might be pregnant. And then they're all just like, tee hee hee, what's that like? And then she tries to talk to him and she's like, oh, I need 5 minutes to talk to you. And he's like, we haven't do the music. Like, go on and just rub the 2 brain cells together for just 2 seconds. Stop being an arsehole. So instead of doing the discount version of, because we know it's not really working for us, right? Nah. Like in every other movie, we know what we're doing. Any movie for the pods, it's not happening. So instead, we've changed it to who in the cast is in a different movie from everyone else. There's always one. Watch out for them, right? I'm gonna say Dalton. I think Dalton's in a completely different movie. Like, the rest of them are all in the early 2000s horror movies. Dalton's in this weird kind of Tucker and Dale versus Evil kind of thing. Like, he's the exact same in this as what he is in Scary Movie. Like, he really takes me...
He's just not that good.
No, he's not, but, like, he really takes me out of the movie. Like, I feel like he is really trying to be, like, like,
I get you.
There's no difference in his performance in this to in Scary Movie. And whereas everyone else is like, oh no, we're supposed to be doing this right cheesy horror film. So he gets my vote.
See, I've got Blake again.
Oh, do you?
Like some weird American Pie, not an European movie pick.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Even though you say, oh, he's the same as Scary Movie, at least it's kind of a horror.
Yeah, true.
What this cunt's in isn't.
Yeah, Blake's in, like, show me your tits. Yeah. Like, he's in that kind of vibe.
He's in a total different mode.
Yeah, fuck it. Okay, you win, Blake. I'll give you that.
It's just, I suppose he's maybe like your typical jock in that.
But he's such a dick.
He's
such a dick.
He is.
Fuck it, you win. Yeah, okay, I take back all my Dalton stuff.
No, he's not great in this either. I'm not saying...
he really takes me out. Like, it was only last night I clocked, oh my God, that's the guy from Scary Movie. Yeah. Like... And he's the exact same. Like, he's... Oh, my God.
He has one tone, that's it.
Yeah. Like, no wonder he's not booked and busy, because I looked him up after. He's not really been in anything else.
Probably
Like,
does the circuits.
this and Scary Movie is like his two big
Yeah.
ones.
So we'll go into I'm out. What is your I'm out bit?
Just, I mean, I'm not really out, but I always have a pillow over my face when Jared Padalecki's about to get a set of scissors to the ankles.
Aye.
Like, I genuinely blame that for me being weird about ankles. Like, I pure canny. Ugh. What have you got?
I'm the same as just that. I can't say the whole movie because that's unfair.
Is this movie defeated you,
But-
Ross, man?
It's like an hour 55, 2 hours. It's far too long, and it genuinely baffled me. Like, because I hadn't seen this in years, but see when it's Chad Michael Murray and that, is it
Alicia Cuthbert.
Cuthbert? And it's like they give nothing. There's no rush. There's no energy. There's no nothing.
Yeah, true.
Like as soon as it's just they two in the town, it's like, guys, what you doing?
My guess, my
But
jizz.
there's too much fanning about.
Yeah.
Like this
Yeah,
could have
yeah.
been cut by 20 minutes and it would have been a
100%.
perfectly serviceable movie.
Yeah, like, yeah, we don't need 4 runaways. Do you know what I
No,
mean?
we
Like,
don't.
4 times they get caught. Yeah.
But it's like I was saying, I didn't mind this movie, but
Yeah. It really
it's
sounds
not-
like you
it's
fucking
not
hated every minute.
that it's a bad movie. It's just
Mm.
there's nothing. What's the point?
Yeah, like it's in and it's done and
Yeah.
and then it ends and
Like, it's
Helena from My Chemical Romance starts and we're good
Yeah,
to
it's
go.
so
do you know what I
like nothing new happens in it.
mean? Yeah.
They've not really changed anything other than the fact maybe the promotion with
Yeah.
Paris Hilton and all that. Like that's the only reason this made money.
The reason I said let's do this is because this is a pure 10 out of 10 would watch again for me. Like, I watched this, like this is one of those ones, like, see when, like, my pals are up and we've had a bottle of wine and we want to watch, like, a shit horror movie or something, like, we're always put this one on, or, like, it's always this, or, like, God, why can I not think of any other fucking horror movie we put on? But it's always, like, a really shit early 2000s one that we always watched when we were teenagers. Because it's one of those ones you can, like, put on in the background and talk through it. Do you know what I mean? And then, like,
that's it.
you know what's coming, so
There's
you're like,
nothing to
alright,
hold your
cool.
attention. Like,
Yeah.
There's no any cool
Chad
scenes of
Michael
like,
Murray
oh,
holds your
let's.
attention.
Well, no, really. It's cool. But I was like, there's nothing to be like, oh shit, this scene's coming up. Oh, this scene's coming up.
Yeah. Oh, here's the bit. Here's the
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
Like, there's none of that in this. It's
Yeah.
just horror by numbers, and they don't even do it well.
Yes, not even the good numbers.
Aye.
The only thing that
Not even
I
the good
said.
numbers, aye.
What?
Not even the good numbers.
No, you know what I mean.
I don't like you bad
I
numbers.
don't like the odd numbers. I only like the even numbers. I just mean like no. No, never mind. Now you got the W.H. Smith's colour by numbers, and then you got the Savoy Centre colour by numbers, where the pens were always shite
Aye.
to work. No, you don't. You're just going to leave me out here to die. Like, the only thing last night that I said to you was like, oh, there's the bit. And again, it was for
There's-
all the wrong reasons, was the Paris Hilton taking off her velour trackie
Yeah.
and doing the dance. Like, I was like to you, oh, there's a bit. But that was not, that's for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah,
Do you
no,
know what I
like-
mean? Like now it's like, ooh.
Yeah,
But I
it's
remember
not-
at the
it's not
time
cool.
it was like, oh my God. Like, do you know what I mean?
Aye, it's not cool at all.
No, but like, because last night when we watched this, I was like, oh, here comes the bit. And then the both of you and me were like, ooh.
Yeah, I don't want to see this.
I don't like this. God, are we too woke for early 2000s horror
I think too
movies?
what? It's just it's obvious what
It's
they're doing.
skeezy,
Aye,
yeah,
like,
it's just so skeezy. God, this has just turned into like a pure pro Paris Hilton. Paris, if you're out there, just know that I've always loved you in.
aye.
Right, well, that's us. We might sound really depressed after watching that movie. I had a good time. Time.
No, it's
I don't know if Ross has
decent.
had a good time.
It's just it's so inoffensive.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, the last couple of horrors we've done have been good horrors, so we might as well have done
a shiter every now
some
and then.
shiters. To be fair, we've done a couple of the past few have been shatters, you
Oh,
know.
aye,
So
fuck.
we need to start picking. We need to start
No,
picking
the-
good movies again.
Other than I was just fucking Room was the last bad one we done.
The Room. Like, yeah. So we'll see what we come at you with next week, because we've done action, we've done horror. See, we've got some things up our sleeves, but more. We just need time. We
Aye,
need time, Russ. We need
Time to
time.
figure it out.
Like, no worries. Well, thanks a lot for joining us again this week, and we'll see you again next time.
Bye.
Bye. Justice for Paris.